Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Sideshow 1/6 scale Tauntaun Deluxe statue. For all your 1/6 scale figures and more, click the link in the description below to head on over to Sideshow Collectibles. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, so the Tauntaun actually came out maybe 2 or 3 months ago from Sideshow directly. So for fans in Australia, it's been a bit of a wait for Australian retailers to get stock. Now, I normally buy my stuff from Sideshow, but with the falling dollar, it ended up being a better option for Australians, I guess, in my view, to get this from the official Sideshow and Hot Toys distributor here in Australia called Popcultcha Supastore. So I got this from them, and they finally got their stock of Hot Toys and Sideshow figures and statues for June, and it finally arrived, and I gotta say, this piece is just absolutely incredible. There's probably only one nitpick, which I'll point out in a second, but overall it's pretty damn amazing, and I'm definitely glad I decided to pick this up. The box itself is friggin' huge. I was actually quite surprised at how big the box was. I'll just give you a look over here. So it's about 70 odd centimeters tall. And it comes in this huge shipper, which I'll probably throw away. In fact, I'll probably throw the whole thing away. And inside there, it's all packed in sort of dense foam to protect everything, so everything is all good. But once you sort of unpack it all comes in separate pieces. And putting everything together, particularly along the saddle area and so on, to set it all up, can be a little bit tricky and fiddly, but with a bit of patience, it doesn't take too long, and it does end up looking pretty damn fantastic. So I'll just quickly go through. It might be easier if I just take this off the tripod. So it comes on the snow base here, which is really nicely sort of textured and painted. And so the front foot here has a pretty strong metal rod sticking out of the foot, and just goes into a slot on the base there, and the back just has an extension of the mold that fits into a slot, and it holds it all pretty firmly in place. The base is maybe about 40 odd centimeters in width, and the statue itself stands almost 50 centimeters tall, about 48 or so I think from the last time I measured it. So it definitely is not going to fit in any of my details or anything like that, so I'm going to have to wait until I get my new glass cabinet to actually really display this properly, with probably Luke riding on top of him. But just the texture and the paint application on the fur is just really nice. I love all the sort of detailing in the claws, the fur. It just has a really nice, realistic, snow-weathered look to it. In pieces, the only thing that it came separated was the head. So I'll just put this back on here. So the head itself is fairly easy to take off. It comes with 2 different head sculpts. So as you can see, it's got this molded piece there with the hole just there, and there's a magnet in there to hold it in place. And this is, I believe this to be the Luke sculpt, and these horns again are fixed by magnets in the slot there, and both the horns sort of fit, so you can mix and match, but I think these ones match a little bit better. So this one almost looks a little bit sleepy, but just the texturing and paint application, just the detailing is pretty damn amazing. I love the texture on the horns, and this is a nice sort of material for the reins here. It's just sort of hooked through the mouth in there like so. So nothing to complain about there. The eyes are really nicely painted, and have got that sort of realistic reflective look to them, so I really like that. And I love these little horns on top with the rings around them like that. So I'll just grab the other one. This is a comparison. So this is the one that I think most people use for Han. Let me just stop this thing spinning. Alright, so this is the sculpt for Han. Well, that didn't stop spinning, did it? So this is the sculpt for Han's Tauntaun. And again, it's the same sort of mold. It does look in a slightly more straighter direction, as opposed to the other one that looks sort of to the left. And you can see the horns sort of fit better and are a bit more symmetrical on this one. So the Luke one had the bit broken off, but it's pretty much the same with a bit more of a wide-eyed sort of expression to the Tauntaun. But again, the same sort of amazing detail and magnets on the side. So definitely nothing to complain about with the paint application and the detail in the mold itself. And then you just sort of place it on there like so. So I guess, as I was saying before, the only real detriment and negative to the figure really comes about because of the swap out heads. And I guess you can sort of almost hide it trying to hide that seam here. So it's this seam along here that isn't ideal, and in some angles it sort of hides itself. So in that sort of angle there, it sort of almost disappears. You can't really see it there, but in other angles it really does become visible, so you can sort of see it from this side in particular. So I'll probably just try and pose it and display it in at an angle that hides it a little bit better. And I will definitely try and put Luke on there and have Han standing next to it. So on to the bits and pieces that you get with it, and it does come with quite a few accessories to put onto the Tauntaun. So it comes, this is the spare, I don't know if this is like a drink canister or something, and all of the little gadgets that you put on there have all these little clips. And around the saddle there are 6 hooks around the saddle. So one hook is for this drink bottle type thing, and I think the light colored one is for Luke and the dark one is for Han, I think. So you use one hook for that, one hook for that one, 2 hooks for the blanket, and then 2 hooks for this bag on this side. So that's 2, 4, 5, and 6. So that makes up the 6 clips that you do use to put them on. And I won't take them off to show you guys, because it is a bit of a pain, to be honest, putting them on, particularly on the right side. So if I just show you on this side here, you can probably get a look at the pins there. So you can see the sort of gold pins, and you sort of put those slots in there. So this bag has 2 of those elastic type extensions that you can put the bag on, and the bag is really nicely sort of weathered and textured. I don't think this one particularly opens up, but it's a nicely weathered accessory. So you have the drink canister or whatever that is. You get this other pouch, which is also fixed on with that sort of elastic. Now the blanket, it comes with 2 blankets, this really nice sort of soft felt one, and then these 2 sort of more canvas-like material. And for these 2, the actual pins that you can see connecting there, out of the box, I think most of them come up around the top edges here. So you really do have to sort of roll it down to move those things down to really clip onto the pins on this side. Now I guess, one of the things Sideshow really does need to do is include some instructions with these things, because it is pretty hard to try and figure out how to put these things together. So the felt blanket here has 2 sets of pins or clips, and so 2 of them are used to hook up onto the saddle itself, and then the other 2, which you sort of separate out, are used to hook on this additional blanket set back here. So I've seen some collectors that probably aren't aware of that and just use either that or that, but it's really meant to because there are two sets of pins, it's really meant to connect this and then connect that to complete the look. It also comes with this little bag here, which has the same sort of binoculars that the Luke figure and the Han figure came with, I believe. So this is just sort of held on by a fairly strong magnet, and then you can just sort of take out the binoculars there, so nothing new there, but the bag is pretty nice. And I like that nice sort of closing feature, and it's got a nice bit of snow weathering on it as well, so you can just sort of hook it around the this part of the saddle. So this saddle here is actually a hard mold, and so I think I'll try and take it off. So you can see the hole there that sort of everything lines up with, and so you place this sort of fake leather piece, which is the stirrups, I think, and so that sort of sits over the top. So the statue already comes pre-installed with this sort of felt and leather, fur and leather saddle part. So you put that on top and place all of those accessories around it, and then this hard piece with that magnet there sort of just clips on in place like so. So it all holds together fairly well, and this sort of fur and leather look is quite nicely done, and I do like that sort of snow weathering on it. Probably could have done with a even bit more of weathering, but overall it does look pretty damn nice. And I do love the sort of weathering in these accessories with the dirt wash and so on. So overall, with that completed look, it does look pretty fantastic, and all of those straps just come round underneath the tail area, and it all comes pre-installed like that. So I'll just set him back up again and close off. Alright, so I've pretty much set him back up, and I will get Luke out and put him on there and take some photos, so I'm definitely stay tuned onto the website and the Facebook page for all the upcoming photos this weekend. And I'll just give you guys a quick look at the Hasbro 6-inch Black Series Tauntaun, just for a quick, I can't even really give a size comparison, this thing's so damn big, but it's probably, I think you can get a sort of feel for the sort of difference in size and quality. So I guess the 6-inch line is definitely fairly good for just the playability and to have some fun with the kids and so on. But this Sideshow piece is definitely a display piece that will definitely be a center of attention in any collection. Sort of makes me want to go back and get the dewback, which I did miss out on. So I'm thinking about whether or not I should go back and try and get that, particularly with the Hot Toy Sand Trooper and my Sand Trooper Deluxe from Sideshow in my collection now. So I'll have to decide on whether or not I do want to go with the dewback, and whether or not I got enough space for it, to be honest. But this piece is definitely a highlight in my Star Wars collection that I've got now. So definitely get on board to Popcultcha if you're in Australia, and if you're in the US or elsewhere in the world, definitely click the link below and head on over to Sideshow and pick up this pretty amazing piece. So hope you guys like that fairly quick look at the Tauntaun Deluxe statue from Sideshow. I've got another couple of reviews coming up. I also recently got the Stormtroopers set, the 2-figure set from Popcultcha. So hope you can click that subscribe button and stay tuned for that review, hopefully in the next week or so. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, bye.